Hello, folks. This is Anthony from YouTube, Honda Snowblower Enthusiast, and Facebook. Are you having a pedal issue with your older HS model? It's not staying in the slot. It keeps on popping out from one position or the other or both. I'm going to show you the reasons why this happens. It usually happens on the older machines, and I'm going to show you possible fixes before you have to replace the pedal. Let me show you a couple pedals here. You see this pedal here? It's got, see how it's pointed right there? These are the slots. This is why it's popping out right here. It's because it's worn. And this is a good pedal here, where you can see the difference. It's not as worn or pointy. This pedal's used, but it's not that bad of a shape. So I don't know if you can see that, the difference. That could be one reason why your pedal is popping out of position. It might stay in low position, but it won't stay in the other position. Let me show you out what else you can check. Say if you can see the springs in there. This machine I just took out of the back and it was covered with snow. See the spring right there? You can inspect your springs. So let me show you a brand new spring. Here's a brand new spring. Here's the spring. You can see it's obvious that it's worn or it's damaged. Here's another spring. You can see, okay? This happens over time, usually on the older HS models. So sometimes what you can do is replace the springs. And I'll show you another part. Here's your hardware on each side. There's a bushing in here. Now, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's got flat spots on it. So sometimes these bushings are worn out and need to be replaced. Here's a brand new bushing. You can see how nice it is. I'm not sure how much these cost, $3 or $4. You need two. You need two springs, okay? And so let me show you how we can check these out a lot easier. What you want to do is you want to loosen up your track adjustment nuts here. This will loosen up the tracks. You have to take out the cotter pin right here and pull the pin out. Oops. And then pull it off. So the whole track comes off. The wheels come off. Now, a lot of times, let me tell you a little bit of a trick here. A lot of times the pin is stuck on the bottom on your sprocket wheel. The longer pin is stuck. So I spray some lubricating fluid. After I take the track out, I can take a small punch like this. This is a Stanley punch kit that I got pretty cheap. I've had it for about 5 years. And then you can just punch out the pin. So now you can pull off all your hardware, your wheel hardware. Now you can see your spring. You can check your spring to see if it's what do you call it? It's worn out or elongated like I showed you on the bench. Here's a mount. This is your mounting bolt, one of your mounting bolts. Here's the other one here. I didn't show you before I took this all off that the pedal was cockeyed. And I just assumed it was a bad spring, but it wasn't. Let me take this part off. Here's your other spring on this side. And here's the mountain bolt. See the pedal, mountain bolt. This is called the crawler plate. This bolt was missing. So this could have been the only problem that there is with this pedal not staying in position. So you want to check your mountain bolts. Here it is right here. I mean, this is a replacement. It goes in there like that, like on the other side. And a lot of times when people come over, one of these sides are missing. You know, it vibrated loose and came off, and they're having all kinds of problems with their pedal. So the first thing I look at is that these two bolts are present and they're not loose. If I have to replace this bolt section, which is right here, you know, you got the inner washer, and you've got the bushing that goes on in the slots. If I have to replace this, I'll put some liquid thread locker on the threads so it will stay locked in. So the first thing I check is these two, this bolt and this one. This one side has the bolt in it. Provided they're not loose, then I check the springs, which you can replace if you have to. You need a pick. Let me show you. You can use a pick like this and pull the spring out of the ends. And what I usually do, folks, is I'll take this bolt out and I will take all this off. And I will push this crawler plate out so I can, you know, do it right. I can take this bolt out. This is loose, actually, which is not good. And since I'm replacing the springs, I'll replace that bushing that I was talking about here. This goes on the inside here. It's kind of hard to see. That's why I took this all apart, and I'm showing you the parts individually so you know what I'm talking about. So you can see the problem here. It's pretty obvious. See, that bolt's missing there, and this might be loose. It also could be in a worst case, not a worst case, but in a rare case, these bearings could be worn out. Like this is a 928. I would take these crawler plates off and remove this bearing holder and check the bearing. And, you know, I could change the bearings on both sides too. If there's too much side-to-side play, if there's too much side-to-side play here, this is not too bad. A lot of times it's a lot worse. I would replace those bearings. So the worst case, actually, let me see if I can see the slots. I have a hard time seeing the slots on these. The bottom slot's good. Let's see if I can see the top slot. The top slot on this, can you see the top slot? It's not that bad. It's not as pointy as this one right here. You know, this is not good. So in this case, where the pedal wasn't staying in place, I'm pretty sure it's because this bolt was missing. The bolt that goes in here was missing, and these are loose. So I might remove them, put some thread locker on it. Actually, the springs don't look too bad, you see. So I would just put it back together, put this bolt in, tighten these up. I've done this so many times, it only takes me a few minutes to put the tracks back on and everything, and then I can test the pedal to see if it's staying in. And when it's up on the nose like this, a lot of times the pedal's going to work, but when it's on the ground, and you're trying to use it, it's not working properly. It keeps on popping out. So in the next video, I'll show you if your pedal is actually bad and it needs to be replaced. I'll show you how to do that. It's really not too much more from this position. All you got to do is take these bolts out. Usually you have to use some lubricating oil and pull these crawler plates out. And you can remove this is the free axle. You can remove that. And then you can remove the springs, remove this bolt, and then the pedal comes off. And installing a new pedal is just the opposite. But, you know, a new pedal is it's almost $200 with the hardware. And then if you can't do the labor, they'll probably charge you another $100 to replace the pedal. So what I'm showing you here, folks, is the little things to check: your springs, the bushings, excuse me, and make sure that this bolt and this bolt is present. And if it's one of those things, then you got lucky, and then you don't have to replace the pedal. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And please like and subscribe to the channel if you think this video has saved you money. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.